assistance to that, so Michelle, or?
So, the fire company has had some unusual, unexpected expenses this year. And because of that, they are asking if the board would consider reimbursing them part of the ATV that they purchased. So we're asking for approval to transfer funds from the fire fund to the fire company for the purchase of the ATV in the amount of $23,500.
Okay. Need a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Here in a second. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carries. New business, B, this is the install of cameras at all house Arboretum. Michelle?
So we had a request from Green Allies, they have an intern from your Sinus College that they're working with this year. And the intern has made a request to install, cameras at the Arboretum. One set will monitor passing wildlife and will be positioned off of the trails in less frequently visited areas on the property. And then the other camera, traps will be used to count the number of people that are using the public trails. And this was reviewed by the OSNR board. Unfortunately, the request came after their meeting, so Greg did poll the members individually, and they are okay with this based on some conditions too that were recommended by our solicitor, which are signs announcing the recording and that there will be no audio recording. And then the OSNR board asked for an additional condition that Green Allies provide us a report when the project is completed. So we're looking for a motion to approve the installation of the cameras, subject to the 3 conditions outlined in Greg's memo, 2 of which were recommended by the solicitor.
I understand that the camera is just taking recordings of people's feet, not the people.
Correct, yes. Yes, when it's counting the people, it's just
Counting the feet.
the feet,
Okay.
yes.
Except we're on the ground.
Yeah.
Look at the other parts of the body.
Yeah.
That's it, need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Here in a second, further discussion.
What's the cost? I didn't see the cost.
Oh, that's not our cost, that's all mine.
Oh, and the open
Yeah.
space recommended it, alright.
Yep.
Alright, I had a motion to second, all in favor say aye. Against? Motion carries. New business C, this is the NPDES permit for Hollenbach Park. Michelle or Greg?
I'm gonna defer to Greg on this one, only because I was not in attendance at the open space meeting. If you wanna come up and use a microphone, you're more than welcome, unless your voice projects, you can project your voice.
Oh, about March, we got a letter that we were denied our latest application for, a grant from Monco 2040 for $250,000. This was for phase 2, which was the pavilion and the new parking area. Phase 1 is fully funded by grants, over $525,000. So we have alternate scenarios if we were denied a grant for the phase 2. And after getting together with Tricia and our special projects coordinator, we decided it would be best to include the disc golf course permitting. This would make our application stronger. Monco had $3 million of money to award, well, they had $6 million in requests. So they took the strongest application. So our goal was to make our application stronger by including the disc golf course. So to do that, we need to pay $10,300 for our consultant to redo, make the necessary changes to the NPDES permit. This was money we would have had to pay in the future, right, to do the engineering work anyway. So the Open Space Board considered this, and we're asking the Board of Commissioners to approve this request out of open space funding so we can try to get this out for bid the next round.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Here in a second, further discussion?
Both me and Nelson.
And 3.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Last item D, this is a special counsel litigation matter. Eric, you wanna talk to this thing?
Sure. One of the new litigation matters is an injunction which mimics, an injunction to stop the building of the municipal complex at the Gilbertsville property. So it mimics the injunction filed for the smaller property in which you had special counsel handling that case. So for two reasons: one, they're already up to speed, and the other one is our office could potentially be called as a witness in that matter. We did recommend that the same special counsel be hired for that new litigation as well.
That
Do you have
said,
any idea what the cost of this is gonna be?
No. I think it really depends on which track this follows. Is the injunction issued, in which case it could be over quickly, or is it denied, which would lead you right into that track where you could be a couple years out from a trial.
is there a motion?
I'll make that motion to hire special counsel. It didn't say the name on there, did it?
We got information, didn't we?
So it's Bellwork Kelly.
Yeah.
It's the same attorneys, yeah.
Same attorney that
Well, I think
handled
we
the last
should-
one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think we should modify that motion. I make the motion to author, hire Bellworth Kelly.
For the new injunctive litigation.
Correct.
So noted. I had a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
You're in a second. Further discussion?
Yeah, discussion.
This is exactly what I feel about the defamation case and when all the other cases. I just don't think this was a smart move to jump to a litigation right away about this. I wish we would have sat down and talked a little bit. I wish we would have bought it with general fund money first. It would have been a lot easier to turn it over to open space, doing it the opposite way. At some point, these lawsuits just have to stop. They really do. I mean, we are just throwing money out the window. I just don't know, I'm more frustrated than anything. I'm frustrated. You know, I do talk to Michelle about the budget. It's not working.
Well, we didn't start the litigation.
I know,
I mean,
but I mean, do we ever just sit down and talk to people?
I'd be happy to talk to anybody. I already notified council. I'm happy to talk to see what they want.
They want us to admit that it's open space, and we're getting the same judge that we had for Smola. I mean, we're gonna show up with the same story?
No, it is not the same story.
How do you know that?
And to make it very clear, I won't go into elements of the case other than what I've already said. Is Evan here? To Evan.
Oh, Alan, leave the room.
No, well, he printed what I said, and we bought that clearly as an alternate building site because we didn't know how that case was gonna come out.
If we bought it as an alternate site, why didn't we use the general funds?
Well,
Why?
we will explain that to the judge. I'm not going to tip our hand here. However, at the very worst, if these three candidates are going to try to exploit a technical error on process that will cost this township millions.
Again,
Millions. We've already spent a lot of money. We've already committed a lot of money. And the problem is still not solved of building. I'll be happy to talk to anybody about this. Because we have it is a business decision. It is not a political decision, which is one of the reasons why.
it is a business decision. But it's partly a political decision. And the one thing that frustrates me the most is that every item that we voted on with that municipal complex, you guys got your way. every vote went your way.
Ye-
And now, what is it, almost 3 years later, and we have nothing yet. If we would have paid attention in the very beginning as to what the backlash was going to be, and did something about that, we would have a building. That's how I feel.
Well,
This just brought out a whole bunch of frustration for me.
we did pay attention to the backlash, okay? We paid attention to our current solicitor, we paid attention to our special counsel, we paid attention to the judge's judicial guidance. We paid attention to opposing counsel who suggested to unmuddy the waters. And I said this before in public comments, but we paid attention. And I'm glad you made it, I am glad that you and I agree this is political. I'm not running. One of the main reasons I didn't run, because I knew that this site would get political, and I don't want anybody to think I'm thinking anything other than what is in the best interest of the taxpayers. A business decision, we've gotta replace this building. This building is bad. The police building is worse. Somebody is gonna have a emergency one day, and then all hell's gonna break loose. This has been in the plans for 6 years. This started before I became a commissioner. And we tried everything we could to get this thing done. And I'll reiterate something. We did not think that this project only works if you decommission the police and public works. Because if you look back to the study by Alloy 5, this cost savings only works if we decommission that building. We were thinking maybe on this site, the only thing we'll be able to build is a scaled down version of police and admin and keep public works where it was. And I had many discussions with Tracy, said that does not work. We were told by our engineer to kind of hold the bids just a little bit because conditions were getting better in the bidding. Don't say, you know,
I can say that.
we caught bids that you will not catch again. Some of this equipment is at such a discount.
But what are we gonna do now, if this is gonna be held up again? What
Well,
happens, contracts are signed, right?
I don't,
They're signed, they're out. We awarded them.
well, I
You
can
couldn't
tell you this commissioner is going to fight the case. We're going to explain to the judge what we need to do. And I wanna relate to the residents. This was a political stunt. That's all it was, a political stunt. And if there's anybody in the room that thinks it wasn't, you need your head examined, okay? They're out there filming before I even got notice before you got notice. We all got notified at the same time. Anyways,
I'm just worried about money.
I am
Because like
too.
you said, you didn't run again, we're still here for 2 years.
I want to
And
solve,
how are we,
I'm just
frustrated.
Kathy, I don't have it with me, I wanna turn my binder over to you when I'm done saying, we have this thing planned out all the way down to the landscaping, all the way down to the lights along the walkway.
Mhm.
Trees all along that road.
Mhm.
We have everything planned out and we put $500,000 in there in case we forgot something. So it can be done right. My only goal is to get it done right and leave and just go off into the sunset. Because that's what we do. Who knows, this is, again, we keep passing the baton every 2 years to new commissioners. This job has gotta get done, and if these guys insist on pursuing this case, they're gonna be responsible for the $3 million loss? I don't even know, I can't even calculate what it's gonna be.
well, we got 2 people sitting right here too. Listen,
Do you,
listen, here's the simple fix, when I said buy it with general fund money. That would, and we could've just went ahead. Now we spent all the engineering money over there, and what do we have?
well, try not to say that with a smile on your face. Yes, you know what, that is a technicality.
I'm not,
Okay.
trust me, I am not smiling.
Because guess what's gonna happen? The Board of Commissioners, when they sit down on whatever, January something, their first decision will be, do we wanna stop this case and realize the loss? When you buy a stock and it's a loss, you don't really realize the loss till you sell it. when this project is stopped well, it could be stopped by the judge.
I think
But-
the chances of that are really good.
I actually, honestly,
Don't say it.
I hope the judge gives them the preliminary injunction. I really do. I hope he does, and there's reasons for that, but he probably won't. But I hope he does, because we need to get this figured out. We, the residents, need to get this project that has been handicapping this township for a long time.
I agree.
And it's finally here. We finally got a bid in hand that we could afford, paying cash. Now 1 penny a day. And I think you agree with that, but I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but why can't we work together to get this done? And I'll give you the last piece of judicial guidance that I got. You were in the room, and she said this.
What did she say?
She said it's only a problem if somebody complains about it in a civil matter. So this was
You
not.
didn't see that coming? You didn't see that
Go ahead,
coming?
laugh. No, I did not see, well, when we
Why do you
awarded the
think I
bids.
said buy it with general fund money? I saw
Well, there you
that
go,
coming.
there you go with the smile again. I'm sorry we did not. It is a technicality.
There you go.
If you wanna exploit technicality and stick our police in a building,
I do not.
I know you
I
don't.
never said that.
Then
If we
broker,
would have done something in the very beginning, when we
Well,
got
then-
a warning that there could be litigation brought against us, we would have had a building for maybe a year or two already.
we will answer that in court, and I know Eric is gonna hit
There
my
you go.
shot collar any second here. But,
They actually gave you one?
But I plead with the plaintiffs to look at this and think what's gonna happen. We are not gonna give up on this fight. We just hired special counsel. He's very good. Eric is a gold-minded guy, and he's very good. He kinda told us how this may play out. In many situations, it doesn't end well for the taxpayers. If you think you're making some kind of hit on myself and Trace and Hank, no, not you, not you. If you think with these complaints, you're getting, we got them. You didn't get us, it's the taxpayers who pay this, okay? I don't care. I don't care what you say about me. Trace bounces off of him and Hank, I don't think he pays attention. But I don't care what you say about me, but plans are here. We need to solve this. That man can solve this. He can what do you want is the question. And that's gonna be asked. And I'm sorry, Eric.
So I will, no, with that, what I'm hearing now is there's potentially some move for settlement. I've already talked to their attorney, I already asked what could happen. I think maybe what I could do is broker a meeting amongst the plaintiffs and some representatives of the township to see if there is room to resolve this, cause one area where I agree is that the only party getting hurt here, regardless of how this work ends, is the taxpayer. So I think I'm hoping, and I'm saying next, I hope the plaintiffs hear that there's a desire to settle. I hope they hear that, and that during that meeting, we can explain how no matter which path this goes down, it's not the group here that gets hurt, it's the group out there that does, so.
Who will handle that? You?
Me, yeah.
So then you would need to hire special counsel.
You need to get them involved now, only in case that doesn't happen, and after the injunction matter, I think you need to get them on board up front. I will handle that part of it, and if we can resolve it, you don't pay them anything. If we can't resolve it, then they will take over the case probably after the preliminary injunction hearing.
Again, I'm putting this issue to bed. I think, I was talking to Trace before the meeting, cause somebody who is not a resident of this town has kind of watched this for me. She says, you guys all, from the very beginning, and you were involved in this, you got us the money to do this. Selling that sewer system, we got a big liability off our shoulders. We sold it for much more money than they ever expected. They're making laws based on how much we paid for that system, because they don't want that to happen, or how much the system was purchased from. They don't want that to happen again. We got a great deal for that. Now, how do we turn that back to the residents? What is it, I mean, you wanna sit with money in the bank? Money in the bank is fine, but solving a problem for 30 years. Someone's got to work, you know, they may have to do some minor maintenance, but we don't know what's gonna happen in these buildings this year. It smelled like mold when I got in here again. I don't know what's going on. But please, I've done everything I can as a commissioner. Trace and I have talked, and I burned up Eric's ear this week, but I want to settle this somehow, some way. And if we can't, I'm going to say at least I threw everything at it. I hope that thing's running, because I wanna see what I just said.
All right, we had a motion and we also had a second on the floor. We had the discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against?
Nay, I don't know.
Okay, 4-1. All right, that concludes the new business.